All right. Welcome back, boys and girls. Welcome back from your specials. All right. All right, boys and girls. So as we're go ahead getting settled in our back to our desk or wherever we're working at, I just want to make sure that everybody is ready. When you're ready, just go ahead and give me a thumbs up so I know that we're ready to get started and go. Okay. Give you guys about a minute to get yourself ready. So just for this for right now, you won't need anything. I just want your undivided attention. Give you a minute to set up, okay? Sorry, let's go ahead and give you a minute now. Okay, let me see those thumbs up. All right, good, good, good. So it looks like we're ready. Good, good. Okay, boys and girls. So I would like to introduce you guys to our new pet. Yes, believe it or not, we got a pet now. I'm gonna show you. You guys ready? Ta-da! Now look at this. What do you think about our new pet? What is this? A rock? Yes. Good job, Stephanie. It is definitely a rock. This is our new pet. What do you think we should feed it, right? I mean, it should be hungry, right? It's our pet. No? You don't think it's able to eat food? Why do you think it's not able to eat food? Because it's not alive? Oh, really? What does the word alive mean? What does it mean to be alive? Good. Okay. Would anybody like to share? Yes, Anthony. Oh, okay. So a pet rock, it's not alive because obviously it cannot eat food, right? And when you're alive, it means you're not dead, right? But there's things that go with being alive. What makes us humans different from this rock? What do you guys think? What makes us different from the rock? Let me see. Let me see who would raise your hand if you would like to share your ideas. Okay. All right. Yes. Go ahead, Sabrina. All right. Go ahead and tell me, what do you think? Uh-huh. Okay, good. So, you know, us humans, like you said, Sabrina, we eat. We eat things, we breathe, right? Those are all things that we do, correct? And this rock does not breathe, doesn't have a mouth either, or a nose to breathe or eat, right? We can just see it's just a solid figure, right? So it doesn't have none of those things that we humans do. Those are some good characteristics that you mentioned. Anybody else know why else? It doesn't talk. Good. Yeah, it doesn't talk. It doesn't produce sounds like we do also. And there's many other things, right? So obviously we can see this rock looks nothing like us or nothing like another animal. You guys ever seen an animal that looks like a rock or acts like a rock? How about does it move? If I lay it somewhere, will it move by itself? No, right? However, we and other animals are able to move. Okay. All right. So now that we know this, I'm going to go ahead and make this, pull up this chart really quickly that I'm going to share with you guys. And I'm going to tell you actually, go ahead and start with our objective, boys and girls. So today, we will be able to identify and analyze living and non-living things through a story. And we're going to be able to create a list of at least 5 living and 5 non-living things. Okay, that is going to be our objective for today. Now, heard that I mentioned the word living and non-living things. Now, where have you guys heard of those words before? Okay, remember we talked about the word alive? Yes. Alive is a living thing, something that is living. So what would be the opposite of something that's not living? It's not living or non-living, right? Good job. Thank you guys. Thank you for your wonderful ideas. All right, so let me go ahead and pull up this chart that we're gonna work on together. Go ahead and get that started here. See really quickly. Okay. Are you guys able to see this? Great, great, good. So right here, we're going to organize our ideas. Now, I want you guys, now we know what being alive means, right? We have an idea. Okay. I want you guys to just think off the top of your head. List me some things that you guys know that you've probably seen before that are living and some things that are not living. Just tell me, what else what do you think living and non-living is? You want to make me write, with the definitions for that, that's fine also. So let me go ahead and get some participation, or let me go ahead and start. Okay. I'll give you an example. I know that, for example, we humans are living, right? So let me go ahead and write humans on here. So we know they're living. Okay, now let me give you a non-living. Remember we said the rock was not living? So let's go ahead and write the rock because we know that one is not living, right? What else do you think it's living? Could, actually, before we even give some ideas, I'm going to give you guys a minute to turn and talk. Go ahead and talk, think about it. You guys can go ahead and, obviously we're far away. We're not online, so we can't share our thoughts yet together. But I would like for you guys to go ahead and think about it for a minute and then come back and share your answers with me, okay? So think about it for a minute. Okay, are we ready, guys? Okay, good. Looks like we're ready. I see those thumbs up. Thank you. Thank you for putting those thumbs up. All right. So if you would like to, you can also type it in the chat. That's fine. Or you can say it. All right, go ahead. Oh, okay. I'm starting to see something. So I see in the chat, I see a duck. Okay, what else is living? Let's see, a dog. Okay. What else is living? I see cat. Okay. Yes, go ahead, Eric. Oh, a non-living thing. Yes, a pencil. Pencil's not living, right? Okay. What else? A pen. Okay. What is this non-living? A book. Okay. I heard something else. What did I hear? I think I heard it. I think I heard, what was that? Oh, a monkey. Yes. Okay, monkey. Maybe we can fill up a little bit more. Let's see. Oh, a computer. Is a computer living or non-living? Non-living. Yes. Computer is non-living. What else is living or non-living? One more. A clock is a, do you think a clock is living or non-living? Non-living. Okay, let's go ahead and write clock under non-living. How about, what else do you think is living? What else do you think is living? Give me one more thing. An ant. Okay, an ant. Thank you. All right, thank you for your wonderful ideas, boys and girls. Those are incredible. So we're gonna go ahead and keep this here. This is our list to come back to. We named some things, right? That are living and non-living. Okay. So now that we talked a little bit about it, I'm gonna read you guys a story. Okay. This story is called "The Wolf's Chicken Stew" by Keiko Casa. Okay. Now, what are you guys looking at the illustration think the story is going to be about? Let me see, show of hands. Okay, you think the story is going to be about a chicken who's going to end up being ate by the wolf? What do you think that? You heard this story before? You heard it somewhere similar? Okay. You think it's going to be about Red Riding Hood? You've heard the story of Red Riding Hood, right? It's kind of similar, yes. Okay. You think the wolf is going to be his friend? Okay. Why? Because the wolf has a chef hat? Yeah. I mean, he's obviously going to cook something, right? He's got a chef hat. So let's go ahead and get started and see what happens. There once lived a wolf who loved to eat more than anything else in the world. As soon as he finished one meal, he began to think of the next. Is he the wolf? The wolf is eating something, right? Could he be a living thing? Yes, right? The wolf is a living thing. He's eating something. We humans eat, right? So he's a living thing. One day, the wolf got a terrible craving for chicken stew. All day long, he walked across the forest in search of a delicious chicken. Finally, he spotted one. Ah, She's just perfect for my stew, he thought. Now we got a chicken. Guys think the chicken is living? Is it moving, right? So you saw a chicken that was walking, right? So the chicken is actually living, boys and girls, because he's moving, right? Living things can move. Wait, with the story? The wolf crept closer, but just as he was about to grab his prey, he had another idea. If there was just some way to fatten this bird a little bit more, he thought, there would be all the more stew for me. So the wolf ran home to his kitchen and he began to cook. Wow. So the wolf has a place to go to, right? His kitchen. He must have a house. Could that be maybe his shelter? You guys ever heard the word shelter? Yes. You have? Yes. We talked about it in our previous lesson, right? So a shelter, right, is a place where, animals or living things, that's their home. It's like their homes where they hide, where they rest, like us, right? So this even confirms more that the wolf is a living thing, right? How about the pots? Are the pots moving? Can they talk? Do they eat? I mean, they're a part of a shelter, right? But they're not moving or doing none of those things, right? So it looks like they're talking. No, right? We don't hear nothing about that in the story. So we can tell that these pots are not living, right? Go ahead and keep reading. First, he made 100 scrumptious pancakes. Then, late at night, he left them on the chicken's porch. Eat well, my pretty chicken, he cried. Get nice and fat for my stew. All right, so now we got the wolf making pancakes. Can you guys make pancakes? You guys seen pancakes? Your parents have made pancakes before? Yes, right? So what do you think is he gonna eat the pancakes? What do you think's gonna happen? He's trying to deliver them, right? To the chicken to get her bigger so he can eat her, right? So another example of why the wolf is a living thing, right? And he's actually scheming and thinking, right? Maybe that could be another possibility of a living thing or characteristic. Go ahead and keep reading. Next night, he brought 100 scrumptious donuts. Eat well, my pretty chicken, he cried. Get nice and fat for my stew. Look at that moon, guys. This illustration. Look at those donuts. You think those are living or not living? They're not living? Yes, they're not living. Why do you think that they're not living? Because they don't talk? Okay, they don't move. I see in the chat. Because they don't eat, yeah. The donuts get eaten, but the donuts don't eat nothing, right? The moon does move, but you guys think it breathes like us? All right, so it's not living. Go ahead and keep going. And on the next night, he brought a scrumptious cake weighing 100 pounds. Eat well, my pretty chicken, he cried. Get nice and fat for my stew. At last, all was ready. This was the night he had been waiting for. He put a large stew pot on the fire and set out joyfully to find his dinner. Look at him, he's moving, right? He set out. If you look at the illustration, it looks like he's moving towards somewhere, right? So maybe that could also point out that he's moving. That's characteristic of a living thing, right? He's able to move. Now, how about these trees that we see in the distance? And I've been noticing throughout the book. You guys been noticing them too? Yeah, right? Think trees are living or not living? Living? Yes, they're living things. Why do you think that is? Can they move? They can't move like us, right? You guys think they breathe? Yes, they can breathe. They breathe. Remember how we have learned? Remember? They breathe through a process called photosynthesis. Great job. And do they eat? Yeah, their food is the sunlight and the nutrients from the ground, right? So yes, they have characteristics like us, and they do produce offsprings. Where do you think the trees come from, right? From other seeds that fall from other trees, right? They grow, they produce offsprings as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and keep moving. The door opened and suddenly the chicken screeched. Oh, so it was you, Mr. Wolf. Wonder what's gonna happen. Let's find out. Children, look, the pancakes and the donuts and that scrumptious cake. They weren't from Santa Claus. All those presents were from Uncle Wolf. Look what's gonna happen. Wow, you see all those chickens? Look at all those chickens, huh? So we see a bunch of chickens that probably came from who? The big chicken, right? The bigger chicken, the hen. So that's another characteristic. The chicken is able to produce offsprings, right? So that confirms that she is, in fact, a living thing. Great. Yes. Good observations, boys and girls. The baby chicks jumped all over the wolf and gave him 100 kisses. Oh, thank you, Uncle Wolf. You're the best cook in the world. Boy, isn't that sweet? Uncle Wolf didn't have chicken stew that night, but Mrs. Chicken fixed him a nice dinner anyway. Ah, shucks, he thought as he walked home. Maybe tomorrow I'll bake the little critters 100 scrumptious cookies. And the end, boys and girls. All right, let's look at this illustration at the end here. Tell me, look at what I'm pointing at. The little chickens, right? You guys able to see? Okay, good. Are the chickens living? Yes. Why are the little chickens living? Because they're eating, right? You can see them eating. Does it look like they're moving around? Yeah, right. This one climbed over here. These are running around. What in this illustration is not living? The cookies, yeah. They're not moving, right? Are they breathing? You think they're breathing? All right. They were made by the wolf, but they're not living. What else? The basket, right? I mean, the basket probably has parts from a living, that something that used to be living, like a tree, right? But it's no longer living, this basket, right? Pieces were cut off, but it was made into a basket. It doesn't move, it doesn't breathe, it doesn't produce offspring. Great. All right, boys and girls, those are some great observations. Thank you for sharing. So that is the end of our book. All right, boys and girls. So now that we read the book and we were able to look at the illustrations and the text and use it to see examples of living and non-living things, we're moving further ahead into understanding how we use text evidence to, help us understand what's going on. And we're also understanding at the same time what living and non-living things are, right? All right, so now what I'm gonna do is check for understanding. We're going to do an activity together. Let me go ahead and share what we're gonna do. Okay, stop sharing this. Go ahead and share my activity with you guys. Okay, so here we have a small sorting activity that we're gonna work on together, okay? Now, we see on one side living things and on the other non-living things, right? So we see two circles and we see the images scattered all over. What do you guys think this is right here? Start with the first one. A cake. Okay, yes, it is a cake. Now, you guys think this is living or non-living? It is living. It is living? No, it can't be living. Why do you think it's not living? Because it doesn't eat, right? Yes, thank you. It doesn't eat, it doesn't move, doesn't grow, doesn't produce an offspring. So it's gonna go on the right side. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and move that. Now, while we're over here on this side, look at this moon. You think this moon, this is the moon. Is this living or non-living? It is non-living. What do you think that is? Remember we talked about it earlier in the story? Because it doesn't what? It doesn't eat, right? Guys, it's kind of like a giant piece of rock, right? Did our pet rock eat? No, right? Moon doesn't eat. It does move, but it doesn't eat. Does it produce offspring? No. Can it talk like us? No, right? Does it grow? I mean, It might look bigger from different perspectives or in different times of the year, right? As we have learned before, but doesn't mean it's actually growing like we do. So yeah, it's non-living. All right, so we got one there. Now let's move on to another image here. How about the chicken? Chicken living or not living? Living, right? We even talked about it in the story. Good. You guys remembered. She's chicken is living. Why is it living? Because it produces offsprings, right? Yeah, we remember he had all those chicks. Chicken. Okay, good. How about the wolf? Living. That was easy as well, right? Because we heard it from the story. The wolf wanted to eat, right? And it saw how it was moving as well. So it moves and it, you know. Oh, another thing I forgot to mention, right? Those baby chicks, they're gonna grow into the big chicken, right? And then we got the wolf here. Good. All right. Let's go ahead and do the next one, the fork. How about the fork here? Fork, is the fork fine here? No, it's non-living. Yes. We use forks to eat, but forks don't eat anything, right? They don't move, they don't produce offspring, they don't grow, they don't breathe, right? All right. How about the rock here? Non-living, just like our pet rock. Remember, it doesn't grow, doesn't move, doesn't eat, doesn't breathe, doesn't produce offspring. Great job. How about the tree? It's living. Yes, we talked about it as well. It's living because it produces offspring, it breathes, it eats, right? Good, good, good. And it grows, right? It starts from a little tree, little plant, little seed, grows this big trunk, right? And eventually starts growing, spreads its branches, its leaves. So yeah. How about the human? Us. Yes, it is living. Okay. We humans do all of those things, right? We grow, we move, we breathe, we eat, we produce offspring, and we also need shelter, right? All these, the chicken needs a shelter, wolf needs a shelter, right? I mean, trees, they live outside, right? But they come together, they also create this big ecosystem, these big shelters for other living organisms, right? And us humans as well. All right, boys and girls, you guys did amazing in this activity. I'm glad we worked on this together. Now, I'm gonna have you guys work on something by yourselves, okay? So if you guys remember our science journals, go ahead and take that out. Give you guys a minute to take that out. We're gonna come back once you guys have it in 1 minute, okay? Okay, I'm starting to see folks are getting ready. I'm starting to see Anthony's ready. I see Stephanie's ready. Who else do I see ready? I see Sabrina's ready. She got her journal out, got her pencil out. Good. See Eric is ready. Chris is ready. Good. Okay, it looks like we're starting to see everybody else getting ready. So let me go ahead and show you. Now, go ahead and open up in your science journal to the next available page, okay? Now, let me show you how I want you guys to do this, okay? Go ahead and share my screen here. Guys, see this right here? Yes. Okay, so you can see here, what do we call this type of chart? A T chart. Good. So remember, in your science journal, you always title and you have your page number. So make sure you title living and non-living T chart, okay? Or you can title whatever other fancy name you want. Make sure you got that page number. Make sure to add it to your table of contents, okay? So we remember. Now, when you make this T chart, title it living on the left side and non-living on the right side. And then I want you to number it 1 through 5 on each side. Remember how we talked about our objective was going to be us creating a list of our own, 5 things that are living and 5 things that are non-living, okay? Now, we went over the text. We went over our own examples. Now, I want you guys, I know some of you guys had many ideas that didn't get to share. So now's your chance. Go ahead and I need you to list me 5 living things that you know of and 5 non-living things that you know of as well, okay? Now, once you're done listing these things, because we only have a couple of minutes left, okay? So for the next minutes, listen to the things, and if you do so happen to finish early, I want you to write me a sentence that tells me at least one or two of the living or non-living things that you mentioned. Why is it living and why is it not living? What makes it? Okay, remember we talked about what makes us living apart from our pet rock, right? And right here I have a sentence stem for you guys to copy down in case you don't know how to start off your sentence. You start off whatever you write is a living or not living things because it is not able to, or it is living because it can, right? So that's gonna be your task. I'm gonna start the timer and give you guys a couple minutes to do this. Let's try to take about 4 to 5 minutes. Let's go ahead and get started, okay? And then we're gonna come back. You need me to move down so you can see the other sentences? Okay, I'll do that. Give me just a second here. So you can copy it down. There you go. I think by now you guys have already copied your chart, started on your list. Okay, good. All right, a couple more minutes, boys and girls. Go ahead and wrap up our ideas. All right, that is time, boys and girls. So now that you were able to list me your living and non-living things, and those of you who did wrote your sentences as well, you're going to include all of that. You're going to take a screenshot of it, and you're going to submit it on the folder that I created titled Living and Non-Living Thing T-Chart. Okay, that's going to be in your folder in your website, in the school website that we created where we access all of our work. Remember, right? You guys remember how to access that? Good. You just gotta turn it in, take a screenshot and turn it in so I can take a look at your list. Okay, this is gonna be your practice, your independent practice. Now, boys and girls, now that we have learned about living and non-living things and what makes them, what are the characteristics that makes them living, we talked about also how we can, analyze the text to find out through the illustrations and the words, what are living and non-living things. You guys did an awesome job. Now, I want you guys to make sure to remember this because we're going to come back to all of these things. We're going to use these characteristics as we learn in our next lesson about how ecosystems work, right? Because you got an ecosystem. We're going to learn about how there's living and non-living things working together to make this environment, this ecosystem where they're all thriving, right? You just a quick preview, you go outside, you go to the park. There's an ecosystem right out there filled with living and non-living things, just like you're in your room, wherever you are. You look around, you see living and non-living things. Well, probably mostly non-living things if you're in your house. Maybe you have a dog or a cat. If you do go outside, you see all these types of things, right? Yes, that's a good thought. If you go to the park or the beach, you see all those seagulls and stuff like that. Thank you for sharing. Good. Okay, good. So now, boys and girls, that is what we're going to be studying on our next lesson. So make sure to turn this list that you created in, don't forget. And I'll see you guys on our next live meeting for Zoom, okay? Have a great day. Thank you guys. All right, let me go ahead and stop here and save it.